All right, everybody, what is going on? Good afternoon. Hope you guys are doing well. And it's time for video number 2 in my little series talking about what the Seahawks can do this offseason. I call it simply My Path, where I go through the decisions I would make if I were in charge of this team, talk about the things that I think make sense to do in terms of releasing players, redoing contracts, extending players, keeping players, letting players go. You guys know the drill, basically just offering up my personal preference for a path through the off season. Now, I already did the first video in this series several days ago. If you did not see that video, go check it out. I basically go over everything you see in this first part of the spreadsheet here. It's not a lot, but I did feel like I did a lot of good work in freeing up a little bit of cap space and getting the team into a good space spot for the rest of the offseason. All right, everybody, before we go any further into this video, I want to take a minute to tell you guys about the Sleeper app and some new functionality they've recently rolled out, Team Picks. With Team Picks, you can pick winners in all kinds of sporting events. Right now, we have NBA basketball, college basketball, NHL hockey is going on, baseball's going to start in a little more than a month, and of course, you have futures in the NFL, even though the games in the NFL are over. Right now, if you look to my left here, you can actually see you can bet on next year's Super Bowl winner. They've got the Seahawks leading the way in those odds, by the way, at 12%. How does that make you feel as a Seahawks fan? But you can bet on MVP, you can bet on draft picks, you can bet on player destinations, all kinds of fun stuff, even though the season is over. So that is Team Picks over on Sleeper. A lot of fun stuff you can do. All right, so one thing I want to say before we get into the next phase, which is basically just deciding which of our outgoing free agents to keep and at what price I would like to try to keep them. The numbers that you see, like in this B column right here, they are estimates based off the information that we have and my best guesses in many cases. Understand that there's no way that we, as fans from the outside looking in, can know exactly what a hypothetical contract might look like when we're talking about contracts that have nearly infinite options for customization. And there are things going on in NFL contracts that we barely even know about. So if you see these numbers and you're like, oh, that number can't be right, that number's not going to be right, you're probably right, but there is so much flexibility in how these contracts are put together. I don't want to waste a million years thinking about all the possibilities. So I just come up with a decent sounding number. I mean, just as an example, real quick here, if you look at this chart, you can see I have us saving $11.5 million on cutting Nwosu, which is what Spotrac and OTC have. But I streamed with Brandon yesterday, and he's not convinced that's the right number. He thinks the right number might be a lot less based on his understanding of the contract, even though Spotrac and OTC say another thing. So that's just kind of the world you live in as a football fan trying to understand this contract math. It's confusing, and sometimes you don't have all the information. And you definitely don't have all the information when it comes to extensions and new contracts in general. But anyway, so let's go through my decision tree for our free agents. And it's not going to be a lot, but my first move is I am re signing Ken Walker. I was on the fence, but I think the Charbonnet injury forces your hand a little bit, and he played so well down the stretch. I think we got to open our hearts a little bit here to giving a running back a second contract, which is, it's not something that I typically advocate for. So understand, it takes an extreme circumstance to get me to advocate for a second contract to a running back. But I went 4 years, 48 million, which is what Josh Jacobs got 2 years ago. There's been inflation over the last 2 years, but Ken Walker is nowhere near as good a running back as Josh Jacobs. I know Ken Walker's value is going to be inflated a little bit because he just won Super Bowl MVP, but I just don't want to go crazy here. I'm not going crazy. If I have to go crazy to keep Ken Walker, I'd rather go try to get Breece Hall, or I'd trade for Devin Achan, or maybe even go for a Javonte Williams kind of guy. There are other options out there. I don't need to pay Ken Walker like he's Christian McCaffrey. Now, the first year cap hit on a 4 year, $48 million deal, let's say it's $6 million. It could be a little more, could be a little less, but let's just go with the 6 million number. My next move is I'm going to be re-signing Rashid Shaheed. This is one of the ones that I feel pretty passionate about. Really want to bring Shaheed back. Really want to find the right number for him. I know he didn't produce a lot as a receiver for the Seahawks, but he is a good receiver. He just needs an offseason to work with Sam Darnold. Just needs the opportunity to find his place in the offense. And Cooper Kupp is this has got to be the last dance for him. He will not be a Seahawk in 2027. I want a long-term number 2 receiver alongside JSN right now. And I think Shaheed's the perfect kind of guy to do it. And at 15 million a year, I don't think that's a problem. So the first year cap hit on that deal, let's say it's 8 million. That's around where the Cooper Kupp first year cap hit was. I think Cooper Kupp's was a little bit more, but same basic idea. So those are my two big re-signings this offseason. So feeling good about that. Next up, we are re-signing Chaz Surratt, the special teams linebacker, 1 year, 1.2 million. So not really much to say here. I just view him as a good special teams player. He was a very, very active part of our special teams when he was healthy. And then I am re-signing Chris Stoll, our long snapper. I'm just going to give him a standard 4-year deal. I'm going to make him the highest paid long snapper in the league, which is still like 1 year, 1.7 million per year. So it's not really much of anything to consider. I'm not worried about it. That first year cap hit, 1.1 million, whatever. It's not a significant amount of money, and Stoll's been a good long snapper, so may as well lock him up for the long term. No reason why not to. And again, you don't have to pay him very much to make him the highest paid long snapper in football. So why not? All right. After that, I am signing Cody White. I'm not tendering him. No, wait, no, I'm sorry. Yeah, I believe Cody White has a restricted tender. I'm not using the tender. There's no need to. I'm just going to offer him 1 year, 1.1 million, take it or leave it. So that's another 1.1 million off. Good special teamer. Did make some plays as a receiver over the last couple years, but hasn't really done enough to earn anything more than the vet minimum in my estimation. Then I'm going Brandon Peely, 1 year, 1 million. Nice little raise over what he got last year. Held up okay in the trenches as like a kind of sort of replacement level nose tackle, but I don't think he's done anything to prove that he has deserved more than a 1 year, $1 million deal. That's $1 million. You don't need to give him like the restricted tag or anything like that. The restricted tag would be way too much money for a player of his caliber. And then I am going to sign Jake Bobo to a 1 year, $1 million deal. Again, I don't think you need to use the restricted tag here. Maybe you need to go up a little bit from this because Bobo's a guy who's actually made plays for you as a receiver and he's a valued special teamer, but he didn't really do that much this last season. He had 2 catches in 2025. So I don't feel like he's going to be somebody that you need to give even a $2 million deal to right now. I am going to tender Drake Thomas at the 1 year, $5.8 million level. So that way, anybody who wants to take him has to outbid the 5.8 million and give us a second round pick. So that does mean there's going to be a cap hit of 5.8 million for 2026, which I don't love. The other option would be to try to extend him to like maybe a 3-year deal, and you can get that first year cap hit down. And basically, you're just kind of hedging against him really breaking out in 2026, which is possible, but I want to keep my options open there because of the Tyrese Knight factor. I really like Tyrese Knight as a rookie, and I feel like he kind of had a fluky sophomore slump. I don't want to be in a situation where I feel like Tyrese Knight's a better player than Drake Thomas, and I've got Drake Thomas on a 3-year deal. All right, but I am tendering Drake Thomas for the year. I'm also tendering Brady Russell 1 year, 3.5 million. That's the standard right of first refusal tender. He does enough on special teams and also offers a little bit on offense. Like, unlike a guy like Jake Bobo, who I think, I don't know if he's that great of a special teamer. Russell is the guy on special teams for us right now. So I'm cool giving that guy the 3.5. And when you look at his flexibility as a player, doing a little bit as a tight end, doing a little bit as a fullback, doing a little bit as a linebacker, I think you can justify the 3.5 million. Maybe you can get him for a little bit less. It's not like I think there's going to be a big market for Brady Russell, but that's a guy you definitely want to keep. I'm also tendering Ty Okada. He's exclusive rights, so he's just going to be 1 year, 1 million, super cheap. No reason not to do it. Kind of a no-brainer, actually. I don't think there's anything to discuss there. Ty Okada is worth way more than 1 million. The fact that we have him at exclusive rights is great, and he may even start for us this year. He may be a 17-game starter for us. So that means our new cap space, when you take care of all of this based on my estimated numbers, and I do want to stress again, all numbers are estimated based off the limited information we have and my speculation, which can easily be proven incorrect if one butterfly flaps his wings in Monaco. But even after all that, you're still looking at about 70 million in cap space, and we will need it because there's going to be a lot of stuff we need to do in open free agency, but this basically gets you to open free agency in a pretty good spot. And you still have things you can do. You can redo the Sam Darnold contract. You can redo the Cooper Kupp contract. You can redo Jaron Reed. You can redo Abe Lucas. You can redo one or two other guys as well. Julian Love is on that list. So you can create more money if you need to, but I think 70 million is going to do a lot of heavy lifting for you. Now, you are going to have to spend some of that money on a practice squad. You're going to have to save some of it for injury considerations, and of course, you're going to have your rookie crop that you're going to have to pay. But you're going to be able to do a lot of good stuff with that 70 million. So, feeling pretty good about where the team is right now in my estimation of where the offseason could go. So let me know what you guys think. I will see you guys later today. Go Hawks! More videos coming soon. And it's one route to go. It's one route to go. I know I'm letting a lot of good players go, but I think it's the right thing to do, personally. All right. Go Hawks. Everyone have a good rest of your day.